Talktainment Radio, worldwide sound. Talktainmentradio.com. We give you a reason to come. The world's greatest radio. We give you a reason to stay. Radio, the way it should be heard. You got the power.
The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guest and not necessarily those of TalkTainmentRadio.com, the management, the staff, or K&E World Network, LLC.
This is the Wellness Spot, and I'm TONYA Karen. Wellness is a choice, is a choice, is a choice, is a choice. Wellness is a choice. TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. The world's greatest radio. Radio the way it should be heard. And you're in touch with the Wellness Spot. And I'm Tank the Nurse. And we're here to talk about gardening. What does your garden grow? You know, I'm just coming back from St. Louis from the advanced chemistry course with a great group of people learning about the chemistry and the science behind essential oils. And you know, the weather was really beautiful. The sun was shining. We had a little bit of rain, but you know, you need rain to help your garden grow. But all that sunshine just got me excited. And I wanted to talk about gardening, the importance of gardening. You know, we think about our food, and we've been talking a little bit about vegan, about vegetarian, about eating as close to nature. So today, or at this time, let's just talk about what does that mean, eating as close to nature. And I learned a lot of things in that chemistry class that I'm going to share with you. Just share a few tidbits to just help you decide, you know, if you want to do a garden. You know, gardens are pretty easy nowadays. You can get a piece of land and put out a garden and till it and do all of that. Or you could simply do something like a aquaponics and get some tilapia, some catfish, some fish and a small pond or even a barrel. Gardening has become very easy to do no matter what your limitations are. So I got with me on the show, Sis Lynn. And Sis Lynn is going to talk to us. She's been on a journey to wellness, and she's joined the wellness team. And she's been traveling and learned some things, been traveling to Kentucky. Good evening. How are you today?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me. And how about yourself?
I'm doing excellent, Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing some of your knowledge. Now, tell us a little bit about this journey you've taken a couple times over into Kentucky.
Okay, well, I just want to first let you know I am new to getting dirty and getting dirt under my nails. So gardening can be for anyone, and I've been a girly girl and never liked dirt, and it has been most interesting.
You don't like bugs?
No, I do not
Really?
like bugs, no.
Okay.
So this has been an interesting journey. So I say all that to say if I can venture out of that box, someone else can as well. I had the pleasure of meeting a young lady by the name of Tamara Williams. She lives in Louisville, Kentucky, and she is a true gardener. With her and the things that I've been learning, it's not about owning any land. You can use the land that you live on. She grows herbs in her front. She has fruit trees in her backyard. She has a garden in her backyard. She has a chicken coop. She has compost. She has it all right there. Like I said, she's from Alabama. She was brought up learning how to garden, and she said that even her elders, as technology came on board, they themselves started going to the grocery store, and it kind of fell along the wayside. So she wanted to make sure that she instilled it in her children and that she brought it back to the forefront so that everyone in her family, her immediate family, knows how to survive.
And you know, that's key when you say survive. And you said something else. You said simple and easy tips. And that's what we just showed on the screen. You know, there's an easy, gardening doesn't have to be difficult. You know, you don't have to be out there, you know, for per se sweating and like it was back when we had a lot of people that did farming. You know, there's a big difference between farming and gardening as it pertains to the work. You could even build boxes for those that may have disabilities or may not can stand long. You can have boxes built and you can garden right in those boxes. You can do window boxes that will allow you to grow some herbs. So like you said, it doesn't have to be a very difficult thing.
Yes, it's really not. And like I said, this is speaking from someone who does not play in dirt. So we've had a couple of sessions. The first session, she really just taught us basically about the fertilizers, the trees, the herbs, what's seasonal, composting, planting season, and things of that nature. Now, like I said, she uses her backyard. She has a chicken coop. So everything is kind of like recycled in her own little world. And what that means is the chickens are running around, they're laying eggs, they're pooping. She's got, after the chickens lay the eggs, the family eats the eggs, the shells go into the compost, any waste goes into the compost, and it starts the cycle all over again. And for the fertilizers, she uses her chicken poop, she uses cow, horse manure, and even some rabbit pellets. I'll talk to you about how we made poop slushies last Tuesday on our second session.
Poop slushies.
Poop slushies, yes.
Okay.
It's very interesting. But like the lady on the hot sauce commercial says, she puts that on everything, and that's basically what you do with a garden. You put it on everything, and it makes the food taste better. It sounds weird, but I'm waiting on the harvest so I can tell you if it tastes weird.
So you're telling me that you all, she gets all of the, like you said, the byproducts from the chickens, from rabbits, and from other compost material and puts it together. And so you all planted some things already.
Yes, basically any animal that does not eat meat.
Ah, that's okay. So that's a key part.
Yep, that's the key part. Any animal that doesn't eat meat, as well as wood shavings. She also in the front of her yard right now, it just looks like a weed mess. Just looks like just what is going on in this yard. But those are her herbs. She grow all her herbs basically in her front yard around a tree.
Okay.
And then in the backyard, she has planted, she uses dwarf size trees. And she's got them growing like vertically into one another. And she has a fig tree. And just recently, Tuesday, when we went, we used all of the chicken coop manure in the back of her yard. Outside her fence, she had horse manure that was mixed in with hay, and that's fine if the hay is mixed in. And what was surprising to me, we were messing in all of this poop and mixing the soil and putting azomite, and which is rock dust, which is another key ingredient that she uses. We were mixing all of these nutrients into the dirt to get it ready for when we go to plant the items that we're going to plant, which is next month in April. We're going to plant some items. Now, we did plant a mimosa tree.
Okay.
She's big on healthcare, holistic healing herself. So she said the mimosa tree she has because it's good for sadness, depression. You can make a tea with it. You can freeze the petals. There's all other benefits that you can use and get from the mimosa tree. So we did go ahead and plant that. So because that needs to go ahead and start its roots sprouting so that by the time April come, hopefully we might have a branch that might be hanging off of it or two.
So now I got a question. I just learned this in the chemistry of essential oils that worms, and I say this, I've said this several times, gold. That, you know, back in when I was a young girl, you would go outside after it rained and there would be worms everywhere. And that was proof that there was minerals in the soil.
Yes.
But I learned in chemistry of essential oils by Dr. David Stewart in his book, in the 3rd section, Beyond Chemistry, it talks about apricots and worms, and he talks about how with the dirt that the worm takes in its mouth is not made of the same elements that come out. So basically, worm feces is very nutritional in that it has 5 to 12 times some of the key elements like potassium, calcium, magnesium, and these things in its excrement, so it makes a better soil. So did you all, have a worm?
Yes, worm poop. We had worm poop too. It's called worm castings.
Yes.
So it's interesting that you brought that up because she calls it gold.
Oh yeah.
That's what she calls it. She said this is gold, and when she gave us the azomite, which is the rock dust, which is a big nutrient, we used that, and then we had sprinkled. She took like just a little bit of worm castings and put it in the bucket when we were making the poop slushies to lay all over the entire backyard. So she said you only need a little bit of it, and she calls it gold. And I guess it is a real big in the farming industry that farmers, they need or prefer worm castings.
Yes, and I'm big on essential oils. So I think it's well known that I use Young Living essential oils, and they actually do the same thing. They have worm farms so that they can use worms in the farms to help with the plants and everything. And like you said, it truly is gold, because when you see how God created nature and all the magnificent things that he put in nature, when you understand why things happen the way they do, it just makes sense. That one, you would eat vegetables that are truly organic, no chemicals. Two, like I said, what the worm takes in the front is not what comes out the back. What comes out the back, in some elements, it's 5 times, all the way up to 12 times greater the amount of calcium, potassium, those things that we need in our bodies and that the plants need in order for our vegetables and our fruits and our plants to be healthy. So just a side thought, that's why our food is so devoid of nutrients. You don't see worms anymore in the soil, so the soil is depleted. And when you don't see worms, it's even, it's depleted at even a higher level, because we're not even getting the excrement from those worms. So I'll let you finish from there.
And that is very true. But for those, I want to kind of get a little bit more key points for those who intend on trying to start gardening or getting into your own gardening. I'm new to it. I'm no professional by any means. Hopefully I can get halfway up to professional status to learn enough to even grow apple tree in my backyard. My son loves Honeycrisp apples, so I would like to grow apple tree in my backyard. and I'm into vegetables and fruits, so I would like to do that. Now, there are seasonal crops, spring lettuces, beans, herbs, fall kale, broccoli, and cabbage. So also there are planting seasons, April to May. Be aware of planting dates. Now, I was in Kentucky again taking these sessions, and Kentucky is zone 6 is what she was explaining, and that tells you what foods grow in your zone, in your state, in your city, in your area, because
so harvesting matters.
Yes.
Okay.
Harvesting does matter, and everything may not grow on your soil or the dirt that's in your area. So if you're planting things and you just can't seem to get them to sprout or grow, that may be the reason. The dirt is not stable or not able to grow those type of fruits, and that's why you have some fruits that you get grown in Florida, then you get some stuff that's grown in California. It's because it's different soil. So
and I just have to chime in right there, because I as we talk about harvesting, distilling, and I try to tell just educate people on the importance of how you harvest a plant. It matters. The soil matters. The ground, the variations in the temperature, if it's in a valley, all of that matters when it comes to plants. And depending on that, you get different constituents out of the plant. So it even matters when it comes to our gardening as to what we should plant, when we should plant, the type of soil, tells us the nutrient value that we're going to get from that plant.
Now, you also want to analyze your dirt. You can send a sample of your dirt to your local exchange office, and they can let you know what is in it, so that you will know what kind of dirt you're dealing with, or if you even stand a chance of even trying to plant anything in your backyard. That's if you plan on doing a backyard gardening, which is what I'm trying to do.
Now, we just had that picture up of showing how you can do those boxes. So I would assume that we can bring in some good dirt, and by using some of the techniques that you're talking about, we can create a good compost that will make a nice fertile soil. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. Now, there should be no tilling. I know a lot of the big major industries that grow a lot of the vegetables and fruits, they do tilling. But in all actuality, tilling disrupts the natural process. So we are pretty much kind of doomed from the beginning of the process of the foods that we are currently taking in.
Okay.
Because the nature process has been disrupted. And there is, now Tamara, she's a family of 5, and she grows enough fruits and vegetables to feed her family all year.
Wow.
She does not purchase fruits and vegetables.
Wow.
Now she grows them. When the season is over, she makes sure she gets everything picked, and on top of that, she gives food away.
Right. Right.
So, and so even after it has season is over, she will pick them. She will freeze them. She will what's it called?
Canning.
She will can them. So that's another process that she's going to teach us as well. She cans them. She has the process down to the T, and she has a beautiful spirit. And now there is a layering method that she gave us. We put the rock dust, which is the azomite, and then we use the horse manure. Then we make the slushy. We use worm tea. Now worm tea, which is the worm castings that she had, we would put that in water and just mix it up until it kind of like dissolves. And then we would pour it around the tree, or or layered throughout the dirt, sprinkle it through the dirt, and she calls that worm tea. Now also she used coffee grinds. Now this was an interesting process for me as well. They have like we have Starbucks, or we have any other Tim Horton coffee stores, shops that are around here. Well, what they do in Kentucky, they take the buckets of like 5-gallon buckets, and they just throw all the coffee grinds in these buckets, and they set them out back, and they allow the farmers to come through and get them. The farmers come through and get them, and they have an honor system. They expect them to bring back the buckets. They'll fill them back up with the coffee grinds, and farmers or whoever's growing their garden will come and get them. And we sprinkled that all throughout the yard. That was part of the process as well. So there may be some local coffee shop that is going to be throwing out their grinds, and maybe they might, allow people to come by and pick them up. Also, she keeps her leaves that fall after the fall season, and she puts them in the leaf bags. She saves those because that becomes part of the process when she's layering and nurturing the ground when she's getting ready to prepare it. Now, also the most interesting thing is that they love rainwater. They, meaning the vegetables, the fruit, whatever, the trees, they love the rainwater. She has this system set up that she has a gutter in the back of her house. The gutter that runs down onto the top of a barrel, and all the water goes into this barrel. So when she goes to water her backyard, she hooks whatever she's going to use up to the spigot of the barrel, and the rainwater is what she uses to water her yard.
So she's recycling nature.
She's recycling nature. Everything is about recycling nature.
And that goes back to what I always say, that nature and what God created has everything that we need. In the plants that you're talking about is everything that we need. We don't have to go to a plant in a building for synthetic or things made that are outside of nature. Mm-hmm. Everything we need is in nature.
Yeah, everything. And so I will be going back there next month, and we are going to start planting. So I will take more notes, and I will maybe, if I can get to a point where maybe I can have a session in the backyard, and maybe some other people who are wanting to learn, we can all learn together. Because again, like I said, this is a learning process for me, and anyone else who wants to come along the journey to learn how to do natural living, growing your own garden, being disease-free, because I think it all starts with the foods that they are feeding us. It has pesticides. It has, like I said, the natural process is already disrupted by them tilling the ground. And then, they're putting all kind of other things into it. You never know what you're eating.
That's right. Because, organic is not organic.
No, it's not.
You can put in some cases up to 15% of a chemical and still legally say it's organic. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if you know this, but when it comes to natural, a product can say it's natural. The only guideline for that is that, say it says natural flavored cherries or natural whatever. The only guideline is that what is in the product is found in nature. So a long time ago, there was a ginger ale company that there was no ginger at all in the ingredients. But, they've since changed that. So that's why I didn't say the name of the company. But you have to be careful, and you have to know, like you said, what's in our food is important because it affects our bodies. Mm-hmm. And, if we take in food that is devoid of minerals and enzymes and is full of chemicals, then we're bringing illness and disharmony and dis-ease on our body. Because, I wanted to say something. You talked about getting started. Every journey begins with one step. And you made that step, and you made a lot of steps because you're going there, you're learning, and, you can come back and share this information with us on the Wednesday Wellness, so we can have some people come out and probably have some of the boxes or some barrels, or, there's so many ways that you can garden with, and you said she's doing some of her herbs in her front yard. She's doing things in the backyard. So we have land that people can use. And this is a good time for me to mention that you can go to the land bank. And I don't know if you knew this. You can go on the website and go to Columbus, Ohio, and to the Franklin County Land Bank. And do you know, for $50, that's the application fee, you can get a plot of land for $10 a year. And you can plant and garden on that land. So again, it's $50 for the application fee and $10 for the year. And you can claim a plot of land, and you can utilize that land to garden. And, we have a lot of houses that have been torn down in the neighborhood. We have a lot of plots of land that, we can go in and change that soil. And I'm not familiar with, you said we could send a sample of the soil to the local exchange, but I'm pretty sure we can find ways to take control of our wellness and plant our herbs, our vegetables, and have some good crops. What do you think?
Sounds yummy.
Well, I love to eat. I love to cook, and it's just a process, It's it's learning ways to become healthier. It's getting better.
Self-sufficient.
Yes, and be self-sufficient. Like you said, I mean, you don't have to plant big things, but just lettuce and tomatoes and herbs and greens and, peppers, things that, you said a family of 5 Tamara has.
Yes.
And she does not buy any fruits and vegetables. Does she look tired and worn out? And,
no.
Okay. I had to ask that because some people think it's a lot of work. But can I tell you, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this in the second half hour, earthing and grounding and putting your hands in soil and putting your feet on the ground is one of the best things you can do for your body.
Yes.
Getting out in nature, spending time out there, getting some natural vitamin D, and grounding. We're around electronics and radioactive things. So, Sis Lynn, if people want to contact you and find out more, is there a way that they can contact you? How can we get a hold of you?
I have the email. It's PC. Right. Okay. PCBUN, the number 2, the letter U at Gmail, and that's shorthand for peace be unto you at gmail.com. PCBUN, the number 2, letter U at gmail.com.
All right. Thanks, Sis Lynn.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Girlfriend, why are you in such a good mood on a Monday morning?
We just bought a foreclosed home and saved a ton of money.
A ton of money? What a blessing. Tell me how.
Well, Linco Realty specializes in selling foreclosed homes.
Linco Realty? I've heard about them on the radio. Yeah, that smart people buy foreclosed homes ad. Don't they have that website with all those vacant government and bank-owned foreclosed homes?
Yes, that's repohomelist.com. And they have lenders with purchase and repair money, even down payment assistance and credit repair.
No money down, plus purchase and repair money? What's the number?
614-375-2289. Record low interest rates make some homes cheaper than rent.
Well, Bill wants a new home. Can Linco Realty help us?
Yes, Linco Realty can sell you a new home in over 50 communities around Central Ohio. They've been in business for over 35 years.
Wow, you've really been blessed.
Yes, we have, and you can too. Call Lincoln Realty today at 614-375-2289.
For the best home fragrance and beauty products, shop Ash Kickin' online.
That's ASHKICKIN.
Made with 100% natural quality ingredients and handcrafted with your family in mind, Ash Kickin' products are better than those other guys. Ash Kickin' candles, incense, body butter, face moisturizer, and hair moisturizer are priced just right, and you can get yours at 10% off with coupon code TALK17. Support this 100% black-owned business and get your home and body smelling and feeling all right.
That's ASHKICKIN.
Shop Ash Kickin' online at www.ashkickin.com.
Are you ready for a high school that allows you to work at a place that is right for you? Are you ready to earn a certification in healthcare, business, or manufacturing while achieving your high school diploma? Then you are ready for Life Skills High School, a free public school option for high school students 16 to 21 years old. Learn more about your free high school educational options at lifeskillshs.org or call them at 1-800-888-7992. Life Skills High School, education that fits your life.
I've got the water, energy bars, and camera. I think we're set for the hike.
Almost. We need to protect our skin. Don't forget your wide-brimmed hat and sunscreen.
All right. I've got the hat. I've got SPF 30. Will that work?
Yeah, anything 15 or higher is good. Just make sure it says broad spectrum.
Great. Got it. I am not getting burned again. Let's go.
Learn more at cdc.gov/cancer.
This is Al Edmondson, owner of a Cutter Brother Rest Barbershop. I'm calling on all barbers and beauticians. It's time for us to unite as one. We can serve our communities better together. Join the Ohio Black Barber Beauty Network. For more information, visit www.obbn.org or call 614-427-3226 to get more information. Be the change that you want to see in your community. Join our network.
If you or someone you know is abusing drugs and or alcohol and want to stop the abuse, contact APDS at 1409 East Livingston Avenue. Office hours are 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily and 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. APDS is certified by the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services and primarily funded through the Adam H. Board. Fees are based on your income and Medicaid is always accepted. For more information, call 614-253-4448.
Every year, June marks the beginning of two busy seasons, summer and wedding season. If you are legally changing your name, you need to apply for a replacement Social Security card reflecting your new name. This is easier to fix now when you first change your name than years from now when you retire. So go to our website at www.socialsecurity.gov/SS number or call us at 1-800-772-1213, TTY 1-800-325-0778 to find out what specific documents you need to change your name and apply for a replacement card.
Live call-in talk show. Dial 1-877-932-9766 and join the conversation here on TalkTimidRadio.com.
TalkTimidRadio.com. We go where you go. The world's greatest radio. Radio the way it should be heard. Tank the Nurse here, and we're talking about Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? Or what does your garden grow? And we had In the first half hour, we had Sis Lynn, and she was talking with us about gardening and how to develop the compost and how to get started and do things in a simple way. Now, she went to Louisville, Kentucky with Tamara Williams and took some classes, and I think she's gone twice already. And I will get the information for those that are interested. Just hit me at tankthenurse@gmail.com, and I'll get that information to you if you're interested in driving there and finding out more about how you can take control of your garden, make your compost, make sure that it's a good compost that has minerals and enzymes and the things in it to help us have some great plants. You know, this is a great time for this subject because everyone is trying to feel good. Everyone is trying to find their journey to wellness, and that's different for everybody. Not what works for one, it doesn't always work for the other, and sometimes you just gotta feel your way. Like I said in the first half hour, every journey begins with one step. So we can't try to change our body into what we think the world wants our body to look like. We just got to change our body for ourselves, take control of our wellness journey. You know, my tagline is wellness is a choice. Choose life, choose wellness. It is a choice, and we should strive to be a healthier you. We have to understand that if we want to be healthier, part of that journey is getting back to nature. There is no way that you can deny the effect of nature in our wellness journey. Mainly because we came from dirt. Plants, vegetables, our herbs all come from dirt. We breathe out oxygen. We breathe in oxygen, and that oxygen we get from plants, we breathe out carbon dioxide, and that's what the plants need. So there's that constant exchange that is going on. We get from plants the minerals and the enzymes that we need in our body to help our body sustain itself. Essential oils. We get essential oils from plants. Plants create essential oils. It's the immune system of the plant. When a plant gets injured, a leaf gets broken, a plant gets some kind of injury happens, it creates an essential oil to help heal itself. When we distill that essential oil from the plants the proper way, and we harvest those plants the proper way, we get a medicinal therapeutic grade oil that is the best compatible thing to our body. You know, again, I told you I've just come back from St. Louis learning the advanced chemistry of essential oils, and we talked about carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, and nitrogen found in plants, the best compatible things for our body. Our bodies are made up of 96% carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. You know, those essential oils, when they are therapeutically of therapeutic grade and they are medicinal, they're the best things for our body. There is nothing better for our body. We need sunlight. We need water. We need air. So nature, we need that vitamin D. So nature is the best thing for our body. We got to get outside. You know, like I said, it was sunny. The sun was out. It's a good time to go out, stretch your arms, take in a nice deep breath, do some earthing, take your shoes off, stand out there in the grass and let your body get rid of all that stress that comes from being closed in the house, all that stress that comes from just our everyday work life. So the choice is ours. We just got to stay focused. I want to mention something, you know, in the Dispatch, the Columbus Dispatch on February, I think it was the 16th, they had this wonderful article on the value of vegan. It talked about athletes that are going to a vegan lifestyle, that they are not looking for animal-derived foods any longer. So, there's a big push, rather it's to be vegan, rather it's to be vegetarian, rather it is to be to eat grass-fed or to eat meat. We still have to do our due diligence and do the best by our body by trying to eat as close to nature as we can. That's important. Just doing the best that we can for our body. And, Sis Lynn was helping me to understand the importance of compost, the importance of creating a garden in your own home. You don't need a whole lot of land. You could just, even if you just simply did your own herbs, grow your herbs, grow you some tomatoes, some lettuce, just a few things. Maybe just get out there and just play in the soil and just try some things. You really can't go wrong with planting and with attempting to do a garden. She's going to be with us on a Wednesday Wellness. We had a class last week on Wednesday with Demetrius Brown, and he helped us to understand a little bit about gardening and why it's important to go out and pick, your vegetables as they start coming in. And I just thought about that, how he said, it's important that you go out once you get your garden going. He said, go out and pick your vegetables every day. And he said, the more you pick, the more you grow. The more you pick, the more you grow. Kind of reminds me of what they say, the more you give, the more you receive. That you can't get anything being closed fist. You got to give and then you'll receive. And you give and you'll receive. So it seems to all come around to the same thing. Now I found this wonderful article that I'm always looking for something about essential oils. And like I said, just came back from the advanced course in St. Louis. And that's from CARE, the Center of Aromatherapy, Research and Education. Dr. David Stewart, he has a wonderful book out there called The Chemistry of Essential Oils Made Simple. And there's a couple things that was mentioned in that class that had to do with gardening. And one story that Max Hopkins told to the class was how for Young Living, Gary Young really makes sure that the people that have anything to do with the plants, that they love what they do. So you can't plant the seed, you can't harvest, you can't work in that capacity unless you truly love what you do. He says, you got to put love in those plants. And the plants can feel that, the energy. And it goes back to energy and vibration. It all ties together, that it's important how we handle plants. In the book, Chemistry of Essential Oils, there's a funny story in there, one of my favorites in the Beyond Chemistry, that talks about plants as lie detectors. Now, I'm just going to summarize it, but it talks about how plants can have frequency. I know when I was young, my grandmother used to say you had to talk to your plants. And some people would sing to their plants. And I'm pretty sure there are people that are listening to the show that can attest to, if they talk to their plants, if they sing to their plants seem to grow large and very beautiful, have a very shiny coat, a beautiful blossom. So in this story, Mr. Cleaver, who was an FBI gentleman, a lie detector expert, he came up with, and he proposed this is a true story, he proposed this to the FBI. There was a plant in a room, just like we see on the screen. There was two plants. And say, for example, I came in the room and I took the white pot and I just threw it on the ground and I destroyed the plant. Well, then he had about 5 people walk in the room. And when those people walked in, he hooked up a lie detector to the blue pot. Nothing happened. But when I walked in the room, the plant elicited an electricity response. And they were able to tell that I was the one that had destroyed the plant in the white pot. And like I said, this is a true story. You can find that in the Chemistry of Essential Oils, Made Simple by Dr. David Stewart. And he did propose that to the FBI, that electrical charge, that plant could identify who was the guilty person. So I say, aren't we glad that our plants cannot tell the story? Because I'm pretty sure there's some people out there that have done some things in front of their plants that they never knew that their plants could communicate. But I wanted to share another part about essential oils. Essential oils, and this article is written by, I didn't get her name. Oh, Joanne Schwarm. And that's Joanne, Schwarm. And she did a nice little article. You can find this at theraindroptraining.com. And it says essential oil alternatives for pest control in your garden. Because that's what a lot of people get into trouble when they're trying to find a chemical to keep critters out of the garden. She says, when these nasty little insects find a home on your plants, you can take a 4-ounce spray bottle, add an essential oil, and mist the plant. You don't have to overspray it, but maybe several applications a day. You can keep critters out of your garden in a natural way, and you don't have to use chemicals. Some of the essential oils that can be used to help in the garden: cedarwood, hyssop, lavender, lemongrass, patchouli, rosemary, sage, spearmint, tansy, and thyme. And in this, she tells us a little bit about what each one can help. Like cedarwood can help with slugs and snails, lice. Hyssop can help with cabbage root flies, moths. Lavender with the black fly, the green fly, mosquitoes. Lemongrass with fleas and mosquitoes. Rosemary with the carrot fly. Tansy with the black fly. Thyme with the bean beetle, the cutworm, and ticks. So there is documentation that these alternatives do work and are better than any pesticide. Researchers at Michigan State University found that certain plant extracts were more effective in repelling deer, rabbit, squirrels than commercial chemicals. So we don't have to use chemicals. We have to get away from thinking that our only alternatives is chemicals, because chemicals cause cancer, they cause Alzheimer's, they cause dementia, they cause disharmony, dis-ease in our body, and they wreak havoc on our body day in and day out. And if we don't do anything to get those chemicals out of our body, they stay there. So, we can use a great alternative, a couple drops of an essential oil in a spray bottle, and you can spray the plants down. And we all know that they're very good for even protecting ourselves from bugs and insects. You can spray your wrists, your ankles, your clothing around where your clothing goes will get to open skin, the neck area. It's a way to do that and even help make you refreshed as the weather changes. I'm getting a little excited. The sun was out, so whenever the sun is out, I'm excited about the weather. And so I'm ready to get out there, to get in the soil, to get my bicycle out, and to do anything that pertains to being out in nature, to do some grounding, to get my feet out there in the soil. Don't have to necessarily get your hands dirty if you don't want to, but you will be surprised how grounding can help arthritis, help pain, help stress, headache, does the body well. So, as we talk about plants and gardening and getting back to nature, I think we have to understand that our food source is devoid of minerals and enzymes, and it's depleted. So, a lot of times when it comes to vegans, they think that just because a food is vegan, that means it's healthy and nutrition. That does not mean that. You know, you can not eat meat and still not have a good diet. We want to improve our health. We got to try our best to eliminate processed foods, eliminate foods that are from a plant, meaning a building where they have machinery and they use synthetics, and go to God's medicine and His plants that are grown in the ground, that get watered and sunlight, and we do that exchange of oxygen and CO2 and use those plants to help us on our journey to wellness. So there is a difference between a plant and plants. The Bible even says how the trees and the leaves are for fruit and for healing. So that is where we can help our bodies the best. If we want to optimize our health and wellness, we will limit the amount of processed foods and choose our food wisely. I'm not saying that you have to be vegan or vegetarian. I will say that some of the best way to eat is to eat more vegetables. Our plates should be full of vegetables. At least half your plate should always be vegetables. And at least half your food should be raw. Half cooked, half raw. A dead body gains nothing from dead food. We have a live body, so we need live food. We need a portion of every plate to be raw, and we need at least half our plate to be vegetables. A fourth of our plate, if we are a meat eater, just a fourth. So that means that steak gets cut down from being a 10-inch T-bone and ribeye to, there's a lot of meat eaters and potato eaters, but you know what? We need a half a potato and a half of steak, and then a whole big nice salad with some lightly sauteed vegetables if we're going to do meat. We can't get that big 10-inch T-bone, half the cow. We can't do that. So, but that's if we're really trying to make changes and trying to eliminate some of the things that can affect us with our body. So we want to try our best to read labels, understanding that organic does not mean organic and free from chemicals. So you might want to check out the Columbus Land Bank and look at $50 for the application, $10 a year can get you a plot of land that you can start a garden. It's good for the family, good for the children, helps bring everything together, helps relieve stress in all types of ways. Then you know what you're eating. You know what chemicals and what is on your food. And then you can bring those fruits and vegetables in and cook great meals or eat them raw, make smoothies. There's a lot we can do with fruits and vegetables that can help us, like I said, on our journey to wellness. It's just a matter of a little bit of work and a little bit of time, but the time and the work is all worth it because we come from nature, so the things that we need to help this body are going to be found in nature. And, understanding that when a label says natural, natural does not mean that it's found in nature. But that's what it means to the labeling company. They do not have to put any cherries in anything labeled cherry flavor. Doesn't have to be any cherries, but they are allowed to say natural, and we run and we grab it because we think, oh, it's got to have some cherries in it. Nope. As long as cherries are found in nature, they can put that label on that, and we can purchase it and consume it. And it could have a lot of red dyes and chemicals that lead to cancer. So there's a reason why we see an increase in cancer and heart disease and diabetes. But we can make changes because the body is forgiving. And if we make changes, we can turn around, do 180, and we can see things start to change. The body will start to repair itself, and we can do well. So we had Sis Lynn with us today, and I want to tell you her email again because she gave us a lot of good information. It was PCBUN, and that's in the military, Papa Charlie Bravo Uniform November, the number 2 uniform at gmail.com. And that, if you spell that out, it says peace be unto you at gmail.com. And she brought some information to us about Tamara Williams in Louisville, Kentucky, that's doing great things and helping us learn how to garden, helping us learn how to take care of our families, a family of 5. And she doesn't have to buy any fruits or vegetables because she grows them all in her front yard and her backyard. And then I want to just make note about that great information about worms. You know, I just really lit up about that in St. Louis this weekend, how much, like Sis Lynn said, that's gold. In the gardening world and in the farming world, the excrement from worms is gold. So we need more worms out in our soil. That's why our food is depleted. There's no, when it rains, we just had a lot of rain last week. You didn't see any worms out. You didn't go outside and not be able to walk around because there was worms all over the ground. So we got to get back to getting nutrients back in our soil because our plants, our vegetables come from that soil. And if it's depleted, then our plants and vegetables are depleted. If our animals are eating depleted vegetables and grass, then our animals are depleted. And if our animals are depleted, then when we consume all of this, especially if we cook it too much and get all of the nutrients out of it, then we ourselves are depleted. That's why we need to take supplements. We need to pray over our food. We need to do the best we can to eat the best we can, limit the amount of processed foods. That's not always possible, but we can do the best we can to limit the processed food that we allow to be put in our body, limit the sugar that we allow to be put in our body, because every journey begins with one step. So we don't have to try to change our whole body. We don't have to change our body to an image that the world gives us. We just need to strive to be a healthier you. All is well. It's getting better, and the best is yet to come. So the choice is yours. We can stay focused. We can create a better you, a better me, a better body. The choice is yours. Choose wellness. Choose life. Tank the Nurse here. If you need any information that we gave out, you can find me at tankthenurse.com or email me at tankthenurse@gmail.com. Love to see you at Wednesday Wellness, 4550 Heaton Road, 6 p.m. What does your garden grow? Choose wellness. Choose life.